have everybody that will be in attendance this evening. And given that it's 7 o'clock, if nobody objects, I will open our meeting. All right, welcome to the May 6th, 2025 meeting of the Planning Board. First, we'll take a roll call to introduce board members and staff. Kate Nee.
Here.
Josh Ames.
Here.
Phil Giordano.
I'm here.
I'm Ellen Rawlings, and I'm here. We are also joined by Elijah Romulus, our town planner, and Jack Hatfield from Westwood Media Center. This meeting is recorded by Westwood Media Center and broadcast live on local cable television Comcast Channel 6 and Verizon Channel 42. Meetings are also live on the Westwood Media Center's YouTube channel. If you're interested in joining the meeting via Zoom, you can find the login directions in the Planning Board meeting notice that is posted to the calendar section of the town's webpage at https://www.townhall.westwood.ma.us/. We'll begin the meeting with only the board members and staff unmuted and on video. As the chair recognizes individuals to speak, we will unmute them. Board members may choose to mute themselves when they are not speaking in order to minimize background noise. For applications, the chair will first invite the applicant to address the board and give a presentation summarizing what is being requested. Board members receive the application material prior to the meeting and will have reviewed them. Board members may ask questions during and following the presentation. Staff and outside experts will provide comments to the board. For agenda items that are not a public hearing, the opportunity for public comment will be at the discretion of the board chair. For agenda items that are for a public hearing, the public will be given an opportunity to comment after board discussion. Public comment will only be read or heard once the chair has opened the public comment period. The chair will ask for any final public comments before closing public comment. During public comment, attendees may use the raise hand feature to speak or type a question in the Q&A at the bottom of your screen. Attendees will not be on video, but will be unmuted if called on during the public comment portion. To raise your hand, click on the raise hand icon at the bottom of the screen and wait for the host to call on and unmute you. You may then click lower hand once you've been called on. For those participating by phone, you can raise your hand by pressing *9. Once unmuted, please identify yourself by stating your name and address for the record. Please direct all comments and questions through the chair and only have one person speaking at a time. Those making public comments will have 3 minutes to speak. All people will be given the opportunity to speak, but in the interest of time and fairness, repetitive or off-topic comments may be limited. Additionally, comments may be submitted by email or regular mail prior to the meeting. When we come to that part of the meeting, I will remind everyone of the process. Following the public comment portion, the board will deliberate and make a decision or continue the hearing to a specific future date. All remote meetings require that votes be taken by roll call. When a motion and second have been made, the chair will ask if there's any further discussion before proceeding to a roll call vote and will then restate the results of the vote. Okay. All right. So, Elijah, do we have any changes to our agenda this evening?
No changes.
All right. Oh, and we've also been joined by Jess Cole, our recording secretary. Hello. All right. Then our first agenda item is 25 Fox Meadow Drive and 300 Fox Hill Street, consideration of proposed approval not required A&R plan for 25 Fox Meadow Drive / 300 Fox Hill Street, continued from 4/8/25. Okay. Elijah, are you taking point on this issue?
Yes. So, Madam Chair and the board, so the applicant has made progress to date. They have updated their A&R plan. They've provided my apologies. They have provided the confirmation for use of the easement path. And they, I guess at this juncture, are currently working out the draft of easement. Prior to them actually submitting the draft of easement, the abutting property that is part of the A&R plan. This is 25 Fox Meadow Drive and 300 Fox Hill Street. The abutting neighbor has hired their own counsel to review it, and so at this point, the two property owners are working out and making sure that everything is legally sound on both ends. And so they have requested a continuance and a waiver of time to the first meeting in June. which is June 17th.
All right. And I heard you say they granted us the waiver of time extension.
That is correct.
All right. Unless there's any questions from the board, I would entertain a motion to continue this as requested.
I propose that we move the planning board. I move that the planning board accept the applicant's waiver of time pursuant to MGL section 81P of chapter 41 and continue the approval not required plan for 25 Fox Meadow Drive / 300 Fox Hill Street dated December 12th, 2024 and revised through April 24th, 2025 to Tuesday, June 17th, 2025.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, I'll take roll call. Kate?
Aye.
Phil? You're muted, Phil. Sorry. Still muted. I'll try Josh in the interim. We'll circle back to you, Phil. Josh?
Aye.
All right. Phil, you look unmuted now.
I am unmuted. For some reason, my bar disappeared and I was trying to find it.
Oh,
Yes,
weird.
aye.
All right. I vote aye as well. The motion carries. All right. The next on our agenda is 5 Noannet Circle, if I said that correctly. Consideration of proposed approval not required A&R plan for 5 Noannet Circle. Oh, it looks like we've also been joined by Nora Loughnane, our Director of Community and Economic Development. And is Mr. Griffith the applicant for the A&R plan?
That's correct.
All right. Welcome.
Hello.
Nice to have you here. All right, so happy to have you kind of present to us what you're asking for.
So yeah, we had an A&R plan approved a couple of years ago, and it requires a legal documentation. And we've had a tough time finding lawyers. That it's a nuanced, I guess, legal procedure. So we've had a tough time finding a lawyer that was familiar with doing the drafting of the legal documents. So I went through 5 or 6 different lawyers, and I finally found one back in the fall. So we are in the final stages of getting all the legal documents drafted, and it was brought to my attention that I needed the plan to be basically approved again. But so I'm presenting in front of you today just to let you know that we are very close to the final stages, and we can finally record the A&R plan hopefully within the next couple of weeks or month.
Excellent, thank you. Any questions or comments from board members? Not seeing any questions or comments from staff. If I understand correctly, there are no changes being proposed. This is just a recertification.
That's correct.
Yes, Madam Chair. So there are no changes, recertification. When and if the board takes up the vote to approve this, which I do suggest, what the applicant will do is provide the same exact plan that was previously endorsed with an extra signature block for the board to sign and certify.
All right, great. Then if there are no further comments or questions from board members, I would entertain a motion at this time.
I move that the planning board find the approval not required plan previously endorsed on June 7th, 2022 for 5 Nahatan Circle, 566 Dover Road, dated January 12th, 2022, and revised through May 23rd, 2022 to be complete, and that the board vote to certify the submitted plan as not requiring approval under the subdivision control laws.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, I'll take roll call. Phil?
Aye.
Kate?
Aye.
Josh?
Aye.
I vote aye as well. Motion carries. All right, thank you. Thanks, Mr. Griffith. Okay, so next on our agenda is public hearing for the consideration of an environmental impact and design review approval for the installation of 2 EV charging stations for 3 standard parking spaces and an ADA space that will result in the loss of 1 parking space at 200 Nahatan Street. This is continued from April 8th, 2025. All right, do we have folks from the applicant team here?
Yes, I am bringing them in at the moment.
All right. I see Tom Philbin. Are we waiting on anyone else, Elijah, or is it just Tom here to present this evening?
There was supposed to be a
John Garrett should be here, yeah.
Hey, Tom, welcome.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else from your team coming this evening, or are you representing?
Actually, there's somebody from Maverick should have been here. I thought it was John Garrett was his name. And the last email I saw, they said he would be here.
There's a call-in, there's a phone number. I don't know if that could possibly be him. Perhaps if that phone number is the gentleman in question, if you could raise your hand, we could promote you to panelist. It's just unclear whether or not that's someone that's part of the applicant team. Tom, are you comfortable presenting, solely if nobody else is here from the group?
Yeah, surely I can give you a good description of what's going
All
on.
right, that's fine then. If you're cool with that, the floor is yours. We're happy to hear about this project.
This is part of a broader project of putting a number of electric vehicle chargers throughout the town. The 2 are going to be put in at the high school, have 4 ports. So there's actually the 4 slots that were there. We have, from the original design, moved them so that all 4 slots do not interfere with any of the parking. So even though there's 1 slot going to be removed, there's none of the visitor parking being affected. They also remeasured the clearance on the sidewalk, and they were able to show that there was plenty of clearance on the sidewalk. So the 4 slots now in the charging area that you see there, plus the one for the disabled area, they are going to be the ones earmarked for these 2 charging stations with the 4 ports. Also, there's been a major effort done when they're digging the trench for these for the chargers. They're going to coordinate and have 1 trench dug, and it's going to also carry the cables for the launch solar canopy project that's going to be done in the other parking lot. So there's been a lot of coordination done, and Maverick is going to be digging the trench for both the canopy and for the charging stations. So that's roughly the project, putting 2 stations in. In the future, these stations would, of course, would be open to the public, anyone who attending meetings at night. And also the school has plans, the high school has plans for having 2 electric buses, minibuses. So they would also be using these charging stations.
Great, thank you. All right, any comments or questions from staff?
Yes, so I have been in discussion with the schools. They are looking to so they were able to address that clearance issue with the sidewalk. So the there's actually 40 inches of clearance on the paved portion of the sidewalk, so there's definitely enough room for pedestrian traffic. And as they mentioned earlier, the shifting of the location has removed the concern for taking up a visitor parking space.
Thank you. All right, I'll open up the floor to questions or comments from board members. If anyone has anything. I'm not seeing any hands raised. This seemed pretty straightforward to me. It was just a couple of outstanding things which have been tied up. So I don't have anything either. All right, if there are no further comments or questions from board members and staff, this is a public hearing, so I'll open up the floor to public comment. Just a reminder, we would need your full name and address. Please raise your hand and we will enable you to speak, or you can use the Q&A feature in the Zoom app, and we would ask that you keep your comments to 3 minutes. I'll give that a moment. I'm not seeing any movement on public comment. So at this time, unless there's any further discussion, I would entertain, I think we have a few motions we need to go through. So we could start with the first one would be on the waivers requested.
Yes.
Okay.
I move that the planning board grant the following waivers in association with the application for the environmental impact and design review EIDR approval for 200 Nahatan Street, as described in the application therefore submitted to the planning board and filed in the office of the town clerk on March 5th, 2025. 1. Waiver from strict compliance with section 7.3.7.1.6 of the Westwood zoning bylaw, requiring the submission of a stormwater drainage report. 2. Waiver from strict compliance with section 7.3.7.2 of the Westwood zoning bylaw, requiring the submission of an exterior lighting plan. 3. Waiver from strict compliance with section 7.3.7.3 of the Westwood zoning bylaw, requiring the submission of a full traffic study. And do I just continue?
I think we need to take action on that motion first.
That's
So I
correct.
think we need a second. Thank you, Kate.
I second.
All right, I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion on the requested waivers? Seeing none, I'll take roll call. Kate,
Aye.
Phil,
Aye.
Josh?
Aye.
I vote aye as well. That motion carries. Now we can move on to the next one.
Thank you. I move that the planning board grant the environmental impact and design review EIDR approval for the installation of 2 EV charging stations for 3 standard parking spaces and an ADA space that will result in the loss of 1 parking space at 200 Nahatan Street, as described in the application therefore submitted to the planning board and filed in the office of the town clerk on March 5th, 2025, subject to the following conditions. 1. Except as modified by the conditions and finding hereof, the project shall comply with the project plans and with the conditions of all prior decisions for the property in all respects, and the applicant shall pursue completion of the project with reasonable diligence and continuity. 2, if the project or any condition imposed in this decision requires any other permit, license, or other approval from any Town of Westwood board, commission, or agency, or other Commonwealth or federal regulatory agency, the applicant shall make an appropriate application for the same and shall obtain all required approvals prior to the start of any work. If any condition of such permit, license, or other approval from any other board, committee, or agency is inconsistent with this decision, the applicant shall make application to the planning board for an amendment of this decision. And the planning board shall consider such application in accordance with the requirements of Mass General Law, Chapter 40A, Section 9, and all applicable planning board rules and regulations. 3, any proposed alterations, modifications, deletions, or changes to the decision shall be requested in writing to the town planner and building commissioner prior to implementation. A, Proposed alterations which are considered de minimis by the building commissioner may be accepted as a note to the file. B, proposed alterations which are considered minor by the building commissioner shall require a filing of a modification application of said approval for review by the planning board at a publicly posted planning board meeting. C, proposed alterations which are determined to be major by the building commissioner or by the planning board shall be considered by the planning board as a formal amendment to the approval and will require a new public hearing before the planning board. Or the applicant shall submit a sign plan for review and approval by the town planner for any signage not included in this application and shall obtain sign permits from the building division prior to installation of any sign on the property. 5, a copy of this decision and the project plans shall be kept on the project site at all times during construction. 6, all project-related construction activities shall comply with the timeframe set forth in the town's general bylaws, chapter 292, for noise and construction, which allows such work Monday through Saturday between the hours of 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. and Sunday between the hours of 12 p.m. and 7 p.m. 7, the decision shall lapse if a substantial use thereof or construction thereunder has not begun except for good cause within 2 years following the grant thereof. The planning board may extend such approval for good cause upon the written request of the applicant.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, I'll take roll call. Josh,
Aye.
Kate,
Aye.
Phil?
Aye.
I vote aye as well. The motion carries. And I think we have, yes, one more.
I move that the planning board close the EIDR public hearing for the installation of 2 EV charging stations for the 3 standard parking spaces and an ADA space that will result in the loss of 1 parking space at 200 Nahatan Street.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, I'll take roll call. Josh,
Aye.
Kate,
Aye.
Phil?
Aye.
I vote aye as well. Motion carries and the public hearing on that is closed. All right, then our next item is, excuse me, 64 University Ave, consideration of project development review, PDR approval for the installation of a new wireless communication facility for Dish Wireless on the roof of the Courtyard Hotel at 64 University Avenue. All right. Do we have anyone here representing the applicant, Elijah?
Yes.
Hello,
Good evening. Welcome.
thank you. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Fantastic. Okay, Elijah, excuse me, would you be bringing up any of the materials if they need to be viewed?
Yes, I can bring them up. If you give me 1 second, I can bring those up.
So this is, perhaps you're familiar with Dish Wireless. It's now selling services Boost Wireless. It's a new wireless carrier and across the country and in this market. And we're pursuing a rooftop installation at the Marriott Hotel at 64 University Ave. That is within the University Ave mixed use districts. And this is a project development review application, which according to 9/7/11/19 of your bylaw on University Ave mixed use is allowed by PDR if we meet the dimensional requirements, which is a 10 feet limit above the flat rooftop. I think the second, okay, so this shows the 3 antenna installations, 1 on the west corner, 2 on the east, and in the middle is the equipment cabinets. They're about the size of small refrigerators on a steel platform in the center of the rooftop. And the antennas are set back 10 feet from the edge of the roof as required in the bylaw, and the height limit is 10 feet. So we don't, by not exceeding that, there's no EIDR or special permit process or public notice process. So this shows the sled mounts, you know, that they'll be on the ballast mounts. Those are just concrete blocks that weigh them down. And then on the next page, you'll see the stealth penthouse. Okay, so what we're doing is we're installing the fiberglass panels around these antennas. They're going to be painted white. There are two large HVAC installations, sort of in the a third of the way in from each side. You can see existing HVAC unit within concealment. And those are white as well. So those are the colors we chose, and Marriott is okay with that. We think it's just a good color for the sky as well. And we did do photo simulations that will show you the white color of these penthouses. We took 5 photos from various areas. So there was
renderings
no
should be-
residential. Oh, here we go. Great. Okay, and so this is these are distant shots, but we'll get some more close-ups here. Okay, so that first white penthouse you see in this photo, number 3, that is one of the antenna installations within a white penthouse right there. We've got 2 more, I believe. Okay, and to the far right and the far left are the antenna penthouses. You see the large rectangular HVAC existing facilities up there. So again, we think the white will, yeah, will blend with that, be similar to that. I'm not going to say it's going to match exactly. And this is probably the best photo sim that shows, you know, our antennas again to the west, the east, far left, far right, and in the middle and the back, and the HVAC large unit there. So again, we meet the dimensional requirements. Everything is on the rooftop, no new infrastructure. We're going to be able to pull telephone and electric up to the roof without having any new routing, and unmanned facility. And as I said, no generator. And that's really about it. We think is good of a design as one would expect to see for this type of a building. We hope you agree.
Thank you. All right. Any comments from staff?
Yes, so the application for this site does fit meet the requirements for University Station, especially given the updated bylaw that was passed last year. There is one issue that at least with Dish Wireless, the carrier itself, there have been a few other sites that the applicant has been approved for, one being at 100 Louderbrook back in 2022, and 808 High Street back in 2023. With both of those cases, there are some outstanding conditions that they have yet to rectify. They needed to provide some post-installation reports, and in one case, the actual antennas installed at 100 Louderbrook were outside, were the antennas extended farther than what is allowed in the town of Westwood per our rules and regs. And so while this project itself, I think, is complete in meeting the requirements, I do suggest that if the board move forward and approve it, there is a condition that Dish Wireless has to bring their additional lots in compliance prior to the issuance of a building permit for this site.
Thank you. Sorry, I was just looking at staff comments too. There was a comment from the fire department. Please provide 10-foot clearance from fire department radio box antennae and bidirectional amplifier antennae. Is that sorted out or is that still outstanding?
We haven't approached the fire department yet, but we will. I don't know where that equipment is located. I don't believe it's on the rooftop, but I will certainly pass that along, and that should be a condition. I do want to speak to Elijah's suggestion on a condition regarding the other two sites, but for the fire department one, yeah, we'll have to abide by that, and just looking to confirm what 10 feet away, I believe, from their radio units.
Yeah, Elijah, if you have any more insight on that, it was quite a short comment, but given that it was from the fire department, it seemed like it was important.
Yes, I haven't heard anything from the fire department after that comment, but I can include a condition that the applicant meet the needs of the fire department prior to the issuance of the building permit.
Perfect. Thank you. Mr. Valeriani, before I open it up to board, did I say your name correctly? I apologize if I
No,
did
you
not.
did. You did.
Okay. Before I open it up to board member comments, I think I heard that you wanted to respond to the information that Elijah shared. I'm happy. I think it'd be good for the board to hear that before we start our conversation.
Well, I mean, I don't know if you're gonna go for what I'm gonna suggest, but, you know, under 40A, the zoning statute, there is a process in place for enforcing conditions that haven't been met for a particular site and particular permits related to that site, and that would involve, you know, the building department sending a notice of non-compliance, an enforcement action. And, you know, the applicant has 30 days, I believe, to get their act together on that. Or else, you know, the cease and desist can be issued. And if the site is already installed, perhaps not installed the way it should be, that again is the enforcement action that the building inspector would initiate, and they'd have to come back to this board or appeal to the ZBA if they didn't agree. It sounds from what Elijah mentioned that those are typically installation issues. I don't know I know over at Lauterbrook, everybody's jammed onto that monopole and doing their best to keep their antennas tight, close to it. If Dish has exceeded that, I would like this approval if it's, if you seem inclined to issue an approval on this tonight, not to be tied up with the other sites. There is, you know, again, procedures in place, legal procedures for the town to enforce that, and I'll certainly relay that, and happy to copy Elijah on an email to the Dish representatives this week on those two items.
If I may,
Yes.
Madam Chair.
Yes, of course.
Just in response, so you know, working with Jim for this application has been an open line of communication with the other sites. However, the points of contact have been very hard to get a hold of. I, you know, had to go through kind of a lot of different hoops to be able to actually get in touch with someone to be able to get the outstanding issues made aware of. And even at that point, it took months for them to respond to it.
Thank you. All right, I see Phil has his hand up, and I think there are other board members that have comments. So now seems like a good time to begin that. Phil, we'll start with you.
Mr. Valeriani, are you suggesting that you're not aware of the other issues, or you're not the right point person? But why would we not consider those, especially in light of Elijah's comments that it's taken months for feedback or even someone to get back to us, for us to do it at this
I
time?
wasn't aware of them, and I'm not the point of contact other than when I'm presenting to you tonight at University Ave, but legally, you can't. That's not a site that's under consideration tonight. What's under consideration tonight is, no, I don't want to be argumentative with the board. I mean, this is a PDR. I think this site, it's designed properly. But yeah, I mean, legally, you can't tie two other sites that are in front of you tonight to this one. They're not the same application. They're two different properties. You simply legally can't do it. Now,
Respectfully, I disagree. I just want to let you know that.
well, so guess what? Then that we would end up, well, I'm not going to appeal that decision to the ZBA over that issue when it doesn't even involve the sites I'm involved in. So I'll tell you what, you do what you feel you need to do with those other two sites. I would just ask that whatever the condition is, it not be too harsh, that it be,
We're, I
you're gonna
think
do
the-
whatever you're gonna do.
No, the point is merely for the company to simply do what they're already obligated to do.
Right, and the
And
enforcement
there's
action
nothing-
from the building inspector would be the legal way to do that.
respectfully, I disagree with that again,
Oh.
but the point is, if the company is certainly been aware with respect to the other two properties as to what its obligations were, which I'm sure they were because they got decisions, they are not taking the steps that they're required to do, and now they're coming before us. I think we're certainly within our purview, so I've said enough. I think my view is clear. Thank you.
Thanks, Phil. Thank you, Phil. Kate, yes.
Yes, thank you. I also am supportive of the conditions, and I want to be clear, what Mr. Valeriani is recommending is certainly what would have been done if you were not before us now asking for something else as the applicant. While this applicant in front of us, we are able to make these I can't even think of the word because I'm somebody help me with the word. Conditions, thank you. We're able to make these conditions. If you had not come before us asking for this, we wouldn't make these conditions. But you're here, so that's what we're able to do. And what we want to do is be in good faith with the people who come before the planning board, that the conditions that they agree to will be met, and that we are going to hold up our end as well as a town and honor our side of the agreement. So this is just an opportunity for us to review the agreement and set conditions for any new agreements.
Thank you, Kate. Any other board members?
I'll tell you, if those antennas over at Lauterbrook are sticking out further than they should, that means either the contractor didn't install them properly, or
I'm sorry, Mr. Valeriani, I'd appreciate if you wait for me to recognize you.
forgive me.
That's okay. I was actually about to move on to my colleague, Mr. Ames. He had his hand up.
Hey, I was actually just wondering about the EME report associated with this application. I didn't see it in any of the attachments.
Elijah.
Madam Chair, if I may, so Mr. Ames, with this application, there is there are less requirements attached to the PDR being in the University Station area, and so that wasn't one of the requirements. If it were in another area of town, then that would have been required.
Okay. I mean, within their own documents, it says that one is created prior to this some creation of the construction documents, so. Okay.
Thanks, Josh. I do want to hear from you again, Mr. Valeriani, but I guess I'm also supportive of the proposed conditions. I do believe that our staff wouldn't have suggested it if it was something that we couldn't legally do. So I understand there's differing opinions on that, but I guess for me, what's most egregious about what's missing, I'm bothered by the fact that the plan wasn't followed when things were installed elsewhere, but the missing reports, the monitoring reports that would show that there's no interference with our emergency radio services, those to me are quite important. And the fact that those haven't been provided previously are of concern to me. And to Kate's point, I appreciate that we have the opportunity because it's the same company, even though it's a different space. And her point about everyone acting in good faith was well taken. So I think that's where I'm coming from as well, that I understand everything you've said as well, but I do have concerns about the things that have not been done either correctly or at all in previous projects with the company. So I would be supportive of the conditions as well. Any other comments? Josh, yes.
Yeah, actually, I just wanted to follow back up, Elijah. Which bylaw does this falling under? Is this 9.4?
I believe it's 9.7, but I can double check.
Specifically 9/7/11/19.
Yes, 9.7.11.19.
Thank you.
Thanks, Josh and Elijah and Mr. Valeriani. Any other comments or questions from board members at this time? I'm not seeing any. I know you've been waiting to speak, but yes, Mr. Valeriani, if there's something you'd like to add.
You're not gonna wanna hear it anyway, so, thank you.
Well, that's entirely up to you. I do see a hand up in the attendees section. I mean, I suppose if we have someone who'd like to make public comment here, we could take a comment, Mr. Unless is John Garrett part of your team? Mr. Valeriani is.
I don't know him.
Oh, okay. All right. All right. I'm happy for Mr. Garrett to speak if he's so inclined. We would just need your full name and address, and for the record to be able to take your public comment.
Let me just unmute.
We can hear you.
There we go. Just unmuting. I apologize. I thought there was an in-person meeting with Maverick Construction on another item on your agenda tonight. And
Oh, okay. I think was that with the EV chargers at the high school?
yes, it was.
We've completed that item.
Okay.
I'm so sorry.
No worries.
But thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. No worries. Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye. All right. All right. Were there any other comments or questions from either board members or the applicant or staff?
Just if I may,
Of course.
thank you. So Elijah, I think I jotted down what the concerns were. Certainly Louderbrook is the antennas extending beyond the dimensional limit, and on High Street, it was some post-installation reports. Would you be able to just drop me an email sometime soon as to what exactly those missing items are, and
Yes, I can do that.
we'll do that, and that's it. So thank you.
Thank you. All right. If there's no further discussion at this time, I think we could entertain some motions.
I move that the planning board grant the following waivers in association with the application for the project development review PDR approval for 64 University Avenue, as described in the application therefore submitted to the planning board and filed in the office of the town clerk on April 22nd, 2025. 1, waiver from strict compliance with section 7.3.7.1.6 of the Westwood zoning bylaw requiring the submission of a stormwater drainage report. 2, waiver from strict compliance with section 7.3.7.2 of the Westwood zoning bylaw requiring the submission of an exterior lighting plan. 3, waiver from strict compliance with section 7.3.7.3 of the Westwood zoning bylaw requiring the submission of a full traffic study. 4, waiver requiring the submission of an operations and maintenance plan. 5, waiver requiring the submission of views from residential properties.
Okay, I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion on the waivers? Seeing none, I'll take roll call. Kate?
Aye.
Phil?
Aye.
Josh?
Aye.
I vote aye as well. Motion carries. All right, we have another motion.
I move that the planning board grant the project development review PDR approval for 64 University Avenue as described in the application, therefore submitted to the planning board and filed in the office of the town clerk on April 22nd, 2025, subject to the following conditions. 1, except as modified by the conditions and finding hereof, the project shall comply with the project plans and with the conditions of all prior decisions for the property in all respects, and the applicant shall pursue completion of the project with reasonable diligence and continuity. 2, if the project or any condition imposed in this decision requires any other permit, license, or other approval from any town of Westwood board, commission, or agency, or other Commonwealth or federal regulatory agency, the applicant shall make appropriate application for the same and shall obtain all required approvals prior to the start of any work. If any condition of such permit, license, or other approval from any other board, committee, or agency is inconsistent with this decision, the applicant shall make application to the planning board for an amendment of this decision, and the planning board shall consider such application in accordance with the requirements of Mass General Law, Chapter 40A, Section 9, and all applicable planning board rules and regulations. 3, any proposed alterations, modifications, deletions, or changes to the decision shall be requested in writing to the town planner and building commissioner prior to implementation. A, proposed alterations which are considered de minimis by the building commissioner may be accepted as a note to the file. B, proposed alterations which are considered minor by the building commissioner shall require the filing of a modification application of said approval for review by the planning board at a publicly posted planning board meeting. C, proposed alterations which are determined to be major by the building commissioner or by the planning board shall be considered by the planning board as a formal amendment to the approval and will require a new public hearing before the planning board. 4, prior to the issuance of a building permit, the applicant shall ensure that the antennas at 100 Lauterbrook are brought fully into compliance per the decision of Planning Board 22-59, and that the required monitoring reports for both 100 Lauterbrook and 808 High Street per decisions PB-22-59 and PB-23-32 respectfully are submitted for review and approval by the town planner. To the town planner?
Review,
I think
it has to be approval by.
yes.
Thank you. Sorry. Reading a lot, sorry. 5, prior to the issuance of a building permit, the applicant shall provide an updated site plan to provide a 10-foot clearance from fire department radio box antennae and bidirectional amplifier antennae are submitted for review and approval by the town planner. 6, the applicant shall submit a sign plan for review and approval by the town planner for any signage not included in this application and shall obtain sign permits from the building division prior to installation of any sign on the property. Thank you. 7, a copy of this decision and the project plans shall be kept on the project site at all times during construction. 8, all project-related construction activities shall comply with the time frame set forth in the town's general bylaws, Chapter 292, for noise and construction, which allow such work Monday through Saturday between the hours of 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. and Sunday between the hours of 12 p.m. and 7 p.m.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, I'll take roll call. Phil?
Aye.
Josh?
Aye.
Kate?
Aye.
I vote aye as well. The motion carries. All right. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you all, and I hope you understand, I just didn't anticipate the other 2 sites not turning into anything tonight, so I hope you understand my surprise, and thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Thank you. You too.
Okay.
All right. So our next agenda item is 40 Allied Drive, consideration of proposed modification to flexible multiple use overlay district, FMUOD special permit to permit the addition of 4 new parking spaces and restriping of spaces for compact parking at 40 Allied Drive. All right. Looks like we have someone representing the applicant who's just joined us.
How you doing? Can you hear me?
Yes, welcome.
Hey, how you doing, everyone? I'm the property manager for 40 Allied Drive. Elijah, thank you for helping guide me through this process. Basically, we just want to look to add 4 spaces. It was originally 4 spaces. It's now 3 after talking to some of the tenants. We're basically going to be restriping a low traffic area of the lot and basically kind of configuring it in a way so that we have an additional 3 spaces. Yeah, like the plan shown. You'll notice the area where the 2 additional spaces are noted. If you, when the plans were originally drawn up in 2011, when the building was rebuilt, it actually shows 3 spaces here. And for whatever reason, over years of having restriping projects done on a biannual basis, we've lost spaces over time. So we just want to kind of recapture some missing ones, just due to demand. And we want to restripe this southern row of spaces into compact spaces to fit an additional one there.
Thank you. I'm sorry, I just sneezed a bunch of times, so that's, I apologize. All right, thank you very much. Any comments from staff?
Yeah, I think the spaces that are here are actually currently being used. So this is kind of like a I don't know, retroactive kind of approval. I did take a drive out to the site. It didn't look like these spaces had any issue as they are used. Previously, there was a request to add a space over here, which I'm glad was removed because it was, while it did fit the drive aisle width and the dimensions, it just seemed like, being right on the curve there, it could have potentially provided some issue. And then the restriping of these spaces to include the compact car spaces, as long as there isn't the amount of compact car spaces doesn't surpass 1/3 of the overall spaces, then that is allowable, and it does not meet close to 1/3 of the parking spaces. So I do think that the proposal it looks to be okay. There's also some provided signage. Let's see, that the applicant was able to provide to actually fit in the spaces over here to make sure that people know that it's for compact cars.
Great, thank you. Okay, do we have any questions or comments from board members? I'm not seeing any hands go up. This also seemed rather straightforward to me. Yes, Kate.
Yeah, I hate to ask this, but just out of curiosity, I know that this plan is before my time, but I'm sure you don't have any EV parking spaces and you don't have any bike racks.
I believe we do have a few bike racks at the front of the property, but we don't currently have any charging stations now.
Just
That's
out of
something that, yeah, that's something that the owners have thought about implementing in the future, but not at this time.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, and you can see the old plan there where there was that spot on the right that we got rid of.
Thanks, Kate. Any other, yes, Jess.
I'm so sorry to interrupt because when I looked up this address, because I like to do that, why does 40 Allied Drive come up as a Dedham address?
The property line splits the building.
Thank you. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Someone asked me that same question earlier, just out of curiosity, and thank you. It's good to get clarification on that.
Madam Chair,
yes.
if I may,
Of course.
yes, thank you for bringing that up. Just some background information that this special permit was approved jointly with the town of Dedham and town of Westwood. as well as the Conservation Commission. This portion of the parking lot does fall in the town of Westwood.
Thank you. Which I'm going to go ahead and assume is why we are not meeting with the Dedham Planning Board concurrently this
That's what I was
morning.
just gonna say.
Excellent. All right, that's great. Any other questions or comments from board members, staff, anybody? Yeah, no, I was also, to echo Elijah, I was happy to see that proposed area left alone, because I think that's the right thing. And this looked very straightforward and I didn't have any concerns. So unless anybody else has anything they'd like to add, I would happily entertain a motion.
I move that the planning board determine the modification of the flexible multiple use overlay district FMUOD special permit approval for 40 Allied Drive as described in the application, therefore submitted to the planning board and filed in the office of the town clerk on April 14th, 2025 to be minor in nature.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion on this? Seeing none, I'll take roll call. Phil?
Aye.
Josh?
Aye.
Kate?
Aye.
I vote aye as well. That motion carries. Someone would like to
Sure.
make a second motion?
I move that the planning board grant the minor modification of the flexible multiple use overlay district FMUOD special permit approval for 40 Allied Drive as described in the application, therefore submitted to the planning board and filed in the office of the town clerk on April 14th, 2025, subject to the following conditions. 1, except as modified by the conditions and finding hereof, the project shall comply with the project plans and with the conditions of all prior decisions for the property in all respects, and the applicant shall pursue completion of the project with reasonable diligence and continuity. 2, if the project or any condition imposed in this decision requires any other permit, license, or other approval from any town of Westwood board, commission, or agency, or other Commonwealth or federal regulatory agency, the applicant shall make an appropriate application for the same and shall obtain all required approvals prior to the start of any work. If any condition of such permit, license, or other approval from any other board, committee, or agency is inconsistent with this decision, the applicant shall make application to the planning board for an amendment of this decision, and the planning board shall consider such application in accordance with the requirements of Mass General Law, Chapter 40A, Section 9, and all applicable planning board rules and regulations. 3, any proposed alterations, modifications, deletions, or changes to the decision shall be requested in writing to the town planner and building commissioner prior to implementation. A, proposed alterations which are considered de minimis by the building commissioner may be accepted as a note to the file. B, proposed alterations which are considered minor by the building commissioner shall require the filing of a modification application of said approval for review by the planning board at a publicly posted planning board meeting. C, proposed alterations which are determined to be major by the building commissioner or by the planning board shall be considered by the planning board as a formal amendment to the approval and will require a new public hearing before the planning board. 4, all project-related construction activities shall comply with the timeframe set forth in the town's general bylaws, Chapter 292, for noise and construction, which allows such work Monday through Saturday between the hours of 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. and Sunday between the hours of 12 p.m. and 7 p.m. 5, the applicant shall submit a sign plan for review and approval by the town planner for any signage not included in this application and shall obtain sign permits from the building division prior to installation of any sign on the property. 6, a copy of this decision and the project plans shall be kept on the project site at all times during construction.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, I'll take roll call. Phil?
Aye.
Kate?
Aye.
Josh?
Aye.
I vote aye as well. The motion carries. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone.
Have a great night.
You too.
Thank you. All right, then our next agenda item is minutes. We have 3 sets to look at. The minutes from April 8th, 2025, April 15th, 2025, and April 28th, 2025. And I think we need to take those individually, yes?
That's correct.
Yes. Okay.
And just Madam Chair, I just want to say thank you to Jess for the minutes, and thank you to Phil for the attention to the minutes.
Thank you very much. All right, let's start with April 8th. Did anyone have any comments or changes they would like to propose? All right, then I would entertain a motion on the minutes for April 8th.
I move that the planning board approve the minutes for the meeting of April 8th, 2025 as presented.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, I'll take roll call. Josh,
Aye.
Phil,
Aye.
Kate,
Aye.
I vote aye as well. That motion carries. Those minutes are approved. All right, so did anyone have any comments or suggestions or changes for the minutes from April 15th, 2025? I'm not seeing any, in which case I would entertain a motion.
I move that the planning board approve the minutes for the meeting of April 15th, 2025 as presented.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, I will take roll call. Kate,
Aye.
Josh,
Aye.
Phil,
Aye.
I vote aye as well. That motion also carries. All right, then we're moving on to April 28th, 2025, where we had a subset of the board. Were there any?
Oh, sorry.
Oh, yeah, no worries.
Totally
Were there
ready
any?
to jump in, sorry.
I know. Did any of the folks who were in attendance at that meeting have any changes or suggestions they would like to make? If not, Kate, I would happily entertain that motion.
I move that the planning board approve the minutes of the meeting of April 28th, 2025 as presented.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, Josh,
Aye.
Kate,
Aye.
Phil,
Abstain.
and I vote aye. So that motion carries. All right. So our next agenda item is agency and committee updates. Has anyone attended any meetings or any liaison type work that they would like to report out on?
Yes, I did attend a bike and head meeting for the month of April, and I proposed the two items that were before you previously, the 200 Nahatan Street as well as 40 Allied Drive, for comment. There weren't any big concerns on either of those. I did provide, they were provided as comment in the meeting packet. The board or the committee also would like to look into some microtransit options. I had spoken to them. I had given kind of an update. April was Earth Month, and with the previously approved CRS plan, I figured I'd reach out to them and see exactly if there was anything that they would have liked looked into. And so I have checked back with the same entity that helped us apply for a grant in 2024, and we're looking to see what kind of opportunities are available for microtransit in Westwood going forward. And then the committee also looked at potential areas around town that could use sidewalks or bike lanes, or just more attention to based on the activity. So it was a productive meeting, I would think, and yeah.
Excellent. Thank you. Great. Anyone else attend anything that they would like to report out on?
Not attending, but we're Elijah did send out the scheduling. We're going to be getting the date on the first design task force organized. Sean's not here, but looking forward to late May, beginning of June. We'll be having our inaugural meeting on that. And thank you for sending that out, Elijah. Looking forward to that getting going.
That's exciting. I am very happy to hear that's getting going. That's great. All right. Yeah, I haven't really been to any outside meetings aside from the ones that we've all been at, like FinCom. So I have nothing to add. Okay.
Oh.
Then our next. Oh, yes.
Just one more. This Thursday, May 8th, the Housing Partnership and Fair Housing Committee will be holding a meeting.
Excellent.
Right.
And excellent. Hopefully, I'm going to try and make that too. We won't, Phil, you're our liaison, right? I won't cause a problem if I show up too. We won't have a quorum. So
There won't be a
Nora.
quorum, so I see no issue, right, Elijah?
Yeah, no, sure.
Yeah. Join us.
I'm going to do my best to make it. I just saw Nora just appeared too. Hi, Nora.
Hi. So I don't have anything to add to your discussion. I just wanted to take the opportunity to thank Kate and Josh for their dedication and hard work over the period of time they've been with the planning board. All of your input has been greatly appreciated and has had a terrific effect on bettering our town. So thank you very much.
Nora,
Thank
you
you,
said
Nora.
it as best as possible. You guys have been great partners to work with, and just personally just expressing my sincere appreciation for all the hard work you've put in.
Yes, I'll throw my 2 cents in as well. I'm going to miss both of you. I cherish your perspectives, especially when we disagree, because that pushes me to think harder. So I really value that. I am a better board member, and I believe serve our community better because I've served with the two of you. And I'm sad to see you both go, and I'm very grateful for all the time and energy you've put into this board. And to echo Nora, Westwood is better for your work. So thank you. Thank you very much. I'm going to stop before I start getting over emotional. That doesn't happen often. So, Jess, yes.
I'm sorry for doing a lot of talking tonight. I wanted to also thank Josh and Kate. Josh, I think you had that you were here for 3 years, and it was great. I really appreciate everything you had to say. Kate, I feel like you've been on the planning board since I started back in, I want to say January 2018. I'd have to look back at my records, but I can remember you being at the Downey School in the gym talking about Islington, and you always had a nice comment to say. So I feel like you've been on the board for a long time. You've been on the board with me the whole time, even though I'm not really officially on the board. You, me, and Nora.
I bet Kate feels like she's been on the board a lot.
I feel it. You've really done a lot. I always liked how you, as a resident, you had stuff to say, and then you wanted to do something about it, so you joined the planning board. So, and like everyone said, you made the town a better place. So, thank
Absolutely.
you. And you bring a lot of fun to the meetings.
Mm-hmm. Particularly when they get late. I love Kate's eagerness when it's starting to approach the midnight witching hour, and then all of a sudden it's like you can almost see Kate kind of like getting a little closer to the screen, like, all right, move to adjourn.
So please keep coming back to the meetings.
Yes.
Thanks, everybody. It was great to hear you, and a pleasure to work with you all and get to know you better. Like this is a town full of relationships for me, so I'm really grateful to have had these wonderful, rich relationships with all of you. Thank you.
I just want to say thank you to you too. And I know it's not easy, being part of an involved board like this, and the time and dedication that you've given to it has definitely, as Nora said, has made the town better. And thank you for your service.
One last comment. Elijah or Nora, cookies or cupcakes at town meeting? We always do that.
We will.
It's tradition.
Cupcakes.
That's why we're the fun table at town.
Exactly.
Cupcakes it is.
I'm going to ask one procedural question. Elijah, how are we going to approve the next minutes when it's going to be just me and Ellen?
Oh,
You can approve out of necessity.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Was curious because I was like, okay, we're
I was
only
gonna
have
say,
two of us.
Phil, if you're telling me this meeting doesn't count and I've been here for hours and it doesn't count,
I'm gonna go back to Dish and say everything we said, forget it all. You know, all those comments, don't even think about conditions.
don't worry about it. All that reading I did,
Yeah, it's all a waste.
Josh hasn't spoken. Josh.
Yeah, I just want to say, thank you. Kate put it great. It's great to build relationships with you all, and get to know you all to hopefully, make the town a little bit better. And to be quite frank, like I feel like a better citizen and participant here. So I think this has given something back to me as well. Being able to, hopefully take something from this as a person is really meaningful for me, and it is an act of service, and I'm happy I did it for the past 3 years. I wish I could do it for some more, but there are competing priorities. So thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you, all of you. Man, and now, like, I don't really want to talk business after that, but I will ask, are there any miscellaneous updates from anybody? That's usually staff. Anything else or was that our miscellaneous update?
I think we've just established cupcakes
Yes,
is miscellaneous. Yeah.
that's a high priority item. I'm good with that. Anything else from staff or board members for miscellaneous updates? Doesn't look like it. All right, then our last agenda item is upcoming meetings. We have a board meeting on May 27th, 2025, where we will welcome our new members. Annual town meeting is May 19th, 2025, very important. I hope lots of residents can attend. And then we have planning board meetings on June 17th, 2025, and July 8th, 2025. And with that, Kate and Josh, we made it just over an hour and change for your last meeting. So not a bad note to go out on. Kate, one last time.
Motion to close.
Second.
There it is. I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion on adjournment? Seeing none, I'll take roll call. Phil?
Aye.
Josh?
Aye.
Kate?
Aye.
I vote aye as well. Bittersweetly, I vote aye. Thank you
Yep.
both again.
Bye, guys.
Thank you so much,
Bye.
everybody. Thank you.
Thank
Good
you.
night.